What's going on, everyone? The Lakers win again against the Washington Wizards, and this was a game that they pretty much controlled and dominated start to finish. Anthony Davis was an absolute monster. LeBron had a great game. Russ just being the facilitator and the orchestrator that he's been, fantastic. Lonnie Walker being Lonnie Walker. I mean, in general, this was a really solid game. Another big win. We need to, stack up these wins. We got Cleveland coming up next. I really believe that this team can get to or even above 500 before this road trip is all said and done, which would be nice because after this road trip, we got a really tough stretch of teams. But regardless, Anthony Davis is playing like an absolute beast and yet again showed just a remarkable display. I mean, seriously, the guy comes in tonight, he gives you 55, 17. He had 3 blocks, an assist, just doing everything. The guy is playing like he is the best player on the planet. And that's one of the things that I want to talk about and kind of hear your thoughts and opinions on. Is Anthony Davis the best player on the world? Personally, I think right now, this Anthony Davis is. Look, Giannis is the best player, just given his body of work, given what he's been able to do the last few years, and just in such a dominant fashion. But as great as Giannis is, he's not the intangible player that Anthony Davis is. Anthony Davis can do most, if not all, of what Giannis can do, but so much more. His shot is starting to fall. If he becomes that shot and that three-point threat, not that I want Anthony Davis shooting, 5 threes a game, but if, he's open and it's within the flow of the offense or whatever, and he can knock down that shot, beautiful. The mid-range is starting to fall and just looks so crisp, so clean. That was a big thing about the bubble Anthony Davis that everyone talks about, this just monster. Anthony Davis has always been this player, right? There have been talks of him being the best player on the planet before. Like, talks of him being at least bare minimum top 3, top 5 player. And I think right now he's at least top 3 player, maybe top 5 at the worst, but I would put him over pretty much everyone except for Giannis. I think he, right now, the Anthony Davis that is playing at this moment in this 10 plus game stretch, 9 game stretch, this Anthony Davis, if he can continue to perform the way that he's performing this season and establishing that dominance, which it does help that the Lakers and LeBron have kind of handed him the keys and allowed him to be this player, right? That's something else that was a big problem, especially early in the season, right? It was like LeBron was kind of struggling giving the keys to Anthony Davis. And now here's your throne, King. Go run, do your thing, be the guy we need you to be. And I've said from the beginning of the season to the offseason, we go as far as Anthony Davis takes us. His shoulders is taking us and carrying us as far as we go. I still believe we would have very likely went back-to-back if Anthony Davis didn't get hurt in that Suns game. He's the ultimate mismatch, right? Giannis is a problem. Don't get me wrong. Giannis is an absolute problem. But the level of mismatch that Anthony Davis is, being able to basically just dominate you in every facet of the game, is just, it's unlike anything else. And when he's playing to this elite high level, it makes things so much more easier for everybody else. If the Lakers can continue to present this level of Anthony Davis, he wins not only Defensive Player of the Year, but he wins MVP this year, which he'd be the first player to do since Giannis, right? And I think right now it is warranted. He is right now currently MVP and Defensive Player of the Year. He's the best defensive player statistically in the league right now. He's just playing like an absolute alien right now on the basketball court. He deserves both of those. The only reason he's not like a lock number 1, obviously MVP level, is because the Lakers aren't in the playoffs. Anthony Davis, at the way he's playing right now and the way that the Lakers as a team are playing right now, if this continues, they're going to make the playoffs. They're going to be probably a 5, maybe 6 seed just because of the really slow start, unless they just go on like some crazy run. To be fair, they're only like 3.5 games, 4 games out of like second place. So it's not out of the realm of possibility. Like if the Lakers win their next 4 games, right, and then they go a game over 500, say they lose a game or 2 here and there, by like the end of December, if they're like, 5-6 games over 500, they might be in like the top 3 range. Which, if that's the case, Anthony Davis is hands down, far and away, the MVP. And he just, I mean, beyond Joker, Embiid, give me a center and tell me something that they can do that Anthony Davis can't do. The only thing that the Joker has, that Jokic has over Anthony Davis is probably his passing ability, but he's nowhere near the defender that Anthony Davis is. He's not the just dominant offensive paint type player that he is. Joker is an excellent player. But Anthony Davis, I will take Anthony Davis 10 times out of 10 times over the Joker. I would take this level Anthony Davis over Embiid. He's at least the best center power forward in the league right now. And I really think this level, he's the best player in the league right now. I mean, look at these stats just for comparison. Because again, Anthony Davis has always been able to do this. It's just been consistency with him. He's had stretches or games with the Pelicans, and there were talks of him, is he or does he have the potential to be the best player in the league, right? It was the lack of consistency. He did it with the Lakers. But again, last few years, lack of consistency. This is the consistency that the Lakers need from him. Last 9 games, you have a 37-18, 38-16-4, 30-18-3, 37-21-5, 25-15-3, 25-13-4, 27-12-3, 44-10-3, and then 55-17-3. And his lowest shooting percentage was the 27-12-3 game at 53%. Outside of that, he's shooting an average of what? 62% from the floor? That is monstrous. The guy is a problem. This is the best player on the planet right now. Right now. Problem is he going to be able to be consistent enough? Can this Anthony Davis continue to play this way and continue to thrive? Personally, I think he can. Personally, I think this Anthony Davis is going to continue to perform because he has guys like Russell Westbrook that is willing to take a back seat scoring-wise and set him up, right? Like, Russ is making the sacrifice. He is sacrificing his points, his production, to just go get, 15 assists, right? They didn't need him to score tonight. They needed him to go and get Anthony. Like, he equated for like 20 of Anthony Davis's points, right? Like, Anthony Davis does not get 55 if it wasn't for Russell Westbrook. And LeBron is starting to buy into like, hey, Anthony Davis is the guy. So here, let's get him going. Let's get him feasting. Even the Pacers game in which we lost, what happened? We stopped feeding Anthony Davis the ball. And they were able to go on a run, and we got away from what has been working. There is not a single player in the league that can stop Anthony Davis. In the preseason, I said, if the Lakers make the playoffs, I will take my chances if everyone's healthy. I said it then. I'll say it now. I will take my chances. There is not a single player in the league that can stop Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis is the ultimate mismatch. And there's definitely not a team in the West that can stop or even slow down Anthony Davis. The West is completely wide open. Anthony Davis playing at this level, good luck. Not a single player in the West that can stop LeBron James. Not a single player in the West that can stop Russell Westbrook. Especially this Russ. This Russ has been fantastic, right? And if these three can continue to play at this high level, I still think that they need a trade. I think they need to take Beverly and Nunn, go get another piece. If they could get like a Bojan Bogdanovic or something like that, good luck. Good luck. Good luck to the rest of the league. Assuming Davis continues to play as the best player on the planet and LeBron James keeps playing the way he's played the last few games, because he's changed since coming back from injury, right? He looks just more fresh, more invested, more engaged, right? That's good. His shot is starting to fall. That helps, right? This LeBron James is willing to take a back seat and kind of let Anthony Davis be the guy, right? Like that, all of those things are huge and important for the Lakers. And if LeBron can continue to be that, Anthony Davis can continue to be that. Russell Westbrook can continue to be Mr. Playmaker, because we know he can score. We know he can go get you 20 if you need him to, but we don't need him to do that. We need him to continue to be that guy. And if he can figure out how to get those 12, 15 assists and go get you, 10 to 12, maybe 15 points a game, I think that takes the Lakers to another level, right? Because Russ still is trying to figure this out. You got to think. He's played, 20 games or whatever. because he missed a couple games, right? So he's played like 20 games, and he went from a completely different type of player that was the main guy that handled the ball, that was trying to score, that was trying to do this, Mr. Triple-Double, all that stuff, to completely changing his game and becoming Mr. Playmaker and taking a back seat and being the third option and settling into his role, playing defense, all of that stuff. And he's done that. He's done it beautifully. And I believe he's going to continue to do that. But as soon as he can figure out, okay, I can still do this and get you 10 to 15 a game, Lakers are going to be, again, another level. They're going to be that scary. If Anthony Davis continues to be the best player on the planet and and LeBron James continues to be LeBron James. This team is just, I would not be shocked if we're looking back and going, man, number 18, beating the Celtics out for that tiebreaker, beautiful. Especially if it was against the Celtics. Oh, French, chef kiss. That'd be beautiful. Beautiful. But I really do. I really think that this Anthony Davis is the Anthony Davis that makes us a contender. I will take my chance. There's not a single team in the Western Conference I look at and go, man, there is no way we're beating that team. Right? Even without Anthony Davis playing this way. Right? If Anthony Davis was just playing pedestrian, was giving you, say 20 again, 20, 10, and 2, right? Like even that Anthony Davis, I'd still look at and go, hey, look, this team with the experience, LeBron James, Anthony Davis, knowing what he could do before this like top player in the league status that he's working his way towards. Before that, I still was like, there's not a single team in the Western Conference I look at and go, man, there's no way the Lakers are beating that team, right? But now especially, and guys are starting to hit shots, which is something else I've been saying. Like, let's be patient. Let's see what this team looks like when they start averaging out, which they are starting to average out. They weren't going to shoot 23% for the entirety of the season. They were off to a rough start. It was clunky. It was awkward. They have smoothed it over since then. Guys are starting to hit shots. And if they continue to shoot that way, they continue to shoot. I'm not saying they're going to shoot 50% from three or anything like that. But if they could just shoot average. The bubble team only shot like 35%. They were league average. They were like 16th or something like that in the league off the top of my head. And three-point percentage. It wasn't like they were an elite three-point shooting team. They just had LeBron James and Anthony Davis as two top 5 players. Well, guess what? LeBron James and Anthony Davis, once again, are playing like two top 5 players. And if that continues, good luck. Good luck beating the Lakers. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I want to hear from you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? Do you think the Lakers have a real shot? Do you think Anthony Davis is the best player on the planet? However you feel, good, bad, ugly, somewhere between. I'd love your thoughts and opinions. Let me know down in the comment section below.